thank you for joining. This is a topic that we are super passionate about here at Bold, and it's, I think, more relevant than ever right now. And I'm going to explain a little bit as we go through here. But what we're going to talk about today is how to increase your subscription revenue 35% or more without adding a single subscriber. As we know, customers are getting more and more expensive and to acquire. And so this is extremely relevant. And so to kind of set the stage, I want you to think about this quote. I think most of you probably know who Seth Godin is. He's got this quote. He says, "Don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers." And I think that couldn't be more relevant to what we're about to talk about, because if you think about your store that you manage and the amount of time and resources and money you spend, think about how much time you spend trying to find new customers for your products, and think about how much time you spend trying to find new products, new services for your existing customers. And I bet you it's like a 10-to-1 ratio. Like if you search for blogs or podcasts or anything about customer acquisition, it's limitless. But try to find about increasing revenue from existing customers, there's not as much out there. So Seth Godin got this right. He knows probably better than anyone the importance of this. And so here's kind of where we are as far as subscriptions go. I'm going to talk about how it started, how it's going. So subscriptions, like 8-10 years ago, if you did subscriptions, you had it equaled a subscribe and save model. If you had a subscribe and save model, it meant more convenience for your customers. If you had more convenience for your customers, you converted. Like it was pretty simple to convert people to subscriptions. If you converted to people's subscriptions, you made recurring revenue, and that you won. It wasn't that hard to win at subscriptions 8, 10, 12 years ago. Today, subscriptions have really become a shipping option and a payment option. It's, I say, expected table stakes. There's certain things that I won't order unless there's a subscription option. So if you don't, like, I won't buy cat food one time, for example. It's just expected. Cat food companies used to win by having subscriptions. Now it's expected. These, what was once convenient subscriptions, have now turned into subscription fatigue, and customers are canceling subscriptions more than ever before. If you Google what subscription fatigue, you'll see tons of blogs about it, and how, like, you've probably experienced this. You don't just cancel one subscription, you go to your credit card and you cancel 6 other that you've been meaning to cancel. And so the subscription fatigue is turning into massive churn and retention issues, which is leading to eventual failure for a lot of subscription companies. And a lot of subscription companies are actually hurting, and they're losing. As great as subscriptions are, there's a lot that I think are going to go out of business in 2025. And so, are we all doomed? Obviously not, but that's why we're here today. But when we look at subscription merchants, and we've had over 50,000 stores use Bold subscriptions, over 90% of them look something like this as far as their growth goes. They start off doing pretty well, but eventually they hit what I call the subscription death curve. And the death curve is when your churn equals your acquisition. Now, it might happen at 1,000 customers. It might happen at 100,000 customers, but on average, most stores churn around 10%. So if you have 1,000 customers and you're churning 10%, if you're losing 100 customers a month and acquiring 100 customers, you'll flatline at around 1,000. If you can acquire 100,000 customers a month, you'll flatline at around 1 million. But at some point, you'll hit the subscription death curve, and you might actually be in this death curve right now. A lot of brands are, where they're kind of just steady. They're losing some customers, but they're gaining, and they're just flat. It happens to every single subscription brand. There is a very, very small percentage. In fact, it's less than 3% of subscriptions brands that look even anything remotely like this curve. And so the question becomes, well, are we all doomed? And so here's the problem. User churn is inevitable. It will happen no matter what. You can't avoid it. It's simply a fact. I want to put this image in your head here as I get into some of the next slides, but this is you fighting for zero churn. Towel against a tidal wave. Okay. So yes, cancellation flows matter. Yes, churn prevention strategies are important, but you will never, ever stop the tidal wave of churn. Okay. And so here's what people do. So some people say, well, let's increase acquisition. Right. And that's like, so this is actual, this is a real store example here of a store that is acquiring 100 customers a month for 30 months. I don't know if you can see the little numbers on the graph here, but this is an actual store. So if they acquire 100 customers a month, and the churn is 15%, by the way, in this example, after around 30 months, you can see that they are in the death curve. Okay. So what a lot of merchants think is they say, well, let's increase my acquisition. Let's spend more on Facebook ads. Let's do more SEO. Let's get more top of funnel. And so let's move our acquisition up to 200 new subscribers a month. So what happens when you get 200 new subscribers a month? Well, you get more subscribers. You'll have 2,246, which is exactly double. But here's the problem. Your curve is exactly the same. And if you can see the numbers, it's just flatlining at just over 2,000 subscribers instead of 1,000 subscribers. So then what some people say is they say, well, let's really ramp up our acquisition and let's get 1,000 new customers a month. And, we'll break out of this 15% churn. If we can acquire so much, we'll just break out of it. So here's what happens if you get 1,000 customers a month. You end up with exactly 10 times more subscribers. So 11,000 subscribers. The problem is you're in the exact same subscription death curve. It's just up at 11,000 instead of 1,100. So what do we take away from this? Well, you can't acquire your way to growth, and it matters. I'm not saying that customer acquisition isn't important, but ultimately you can't acquire your way to long-term sustainable, healthy growth. Okay, so then let's take another approach. And this is another approach that a lot of brands take is they say, well, let's really focus on churn prevention. And, like companies have entire churn prevention departments. You go to cancel your cell phone plan and there'll be someone that tries to save you and offer you a better plan. And so that store that we looked at in the calculations was using a 15% churn. So a lot of people will say, well, let's bump our churn down to 10% and we'll break out of this flat line. So if you did take this exact store doing 100 customers a month with 15% churn, after 30 months, if I went from 15 to 10% churn, I would have 1,700 subscribers, which is not bad, but it's still pretty much a subscription death curve. But what if we went to 5% churn? Now that's really good. That's less than most brands. I think the industry average is sitting around 8%. So this is pretty good. Maybe we can break out of it. So if we did go down to 5% churn, it's really good. Like, look at this. So 100 customers a month, if we had zero, we should have 3,000 customers, right? 100 times 30 months, 3,000. So it's pretty good. We have 2,939. And look at our graph. Pretty good, right? So that kind of works, except this is 30 months. Now watch what happens when we just expand it out a little bit further to 60 months. We are back in the exact same subscription death curve. So increasing acquisition moves your death curve up, like to higher customers. Decreasing churn moves your death curve kind of forward out, further out. Sorry. So what if we took our churn down to 1%? Like, I don't know any stores that have 1% churn, but hypothetically, what if we had 1% churn? Well, if you had 1% churn, you'd have 8,986 subscribers, but that's after 240 months. And here's what's worse. It's back in the death curve. And so no matter what, no matter how low you get your churn, you just move that flat line further and further out. And here's a crazy little thing about these two slides here. If you had 100 customers a month for 240 months, you should have 24,000 subscribers. But 1% churn compounded monthly is you lose 15,000 of those subscribers over the 24 months. Like, it's churn is really important. I am not saying churn doesn't matter, but it will not solve that eventual flatline. There's that tidal wave. You'll always have churn. You can't fight it. You've got a towel. You can slow it down, but you can't fight it. So what do we learn from that? Well, you can't save your way to growth. It matters. Churn prevention is important, but ultimately you can't reduce your churn enough to have long-term healthy, sustainable growth. So what do? Well, that's why you're here today. And we talked earlier about how user churn is inevitable, but dollar churn is not inevitable. And this is one of the most important things that you can learn that will help you grow a healthy subscription brand from a revenue perspective. So what do I mean by dollar churn? So there's a term I want you to, some of you might know this term, some of you might not, but you're going to know it after today, and that's net dollar retention, NDR. And this is one of the most important metrics at Bold. So we're a subscription company too. Our software has a monthly charge, so we're a subscription company. And we've had a few investment rounds from investors, and I can tell you one of the most important metrics that they look at is net dollar retention. So for every dollar that we bring in, what do we do with that dollar? Does it go up or does it go down? And so if we get 100 new customers in a month, we might lose 10%, but so we're down to 90. But does that 90 grow in value? Do they upgrade plans? Can we sell them more services? Can they buy more of our products? And so the 90 that stay might end up becoming worth $120. And so then we would have what would be 120% net dollar retention. Some people refer to this as negative churn. If you listen to Shopify's quarterly earnings calls, they'll report negative churn. It's the same thing. It's just negative. The negative churn is, well, even though they're losing customers, their existing customers are becoming more and more valuable because Shopify has ways for you to upgrade plans and pay more over time. So their dollar churn is negative churn. They just kind of lump it all together. So your net dollar retention is the value of your, well, here's the definition, is the value of the recurring revenue you generate from existing customers over time. And it is one of the most important metrics to track. And actually, I was at Sub Summit, did a talk this year, well, I guess last summer, and I asked people at the beginning of the talk, I just said, hey, put up your hand. What are some key metrics you track? People said lifetime value. I track churn, customer acquisition cost, new customer, what is it called? New customer acquisition over ad spend. There's a term for it, AMR. All these different metrics. But actually, no one said net dollar retention. It blew my mind. I was at a subscription conference and not one person said net dollar retention. So it's one of the most important metrics, but hardly tracked. So, if you're looking for a leg up over your competition and to build a healthy subscription business, this is something to focus on. So how can we grow net dollar retention? Well, if you do grow net dollar retention, you end up breaking out of that curve. It's one of the only ways to break out of that curve. The only other way, which I'm not going to get into today, but the only other way to break out is by having positive net dollar retention or a positive referral rate. So you have essentially a viral coefficient of greater than 1, so that you break out of it. That just means if you get one subscriber, they on average refer more, like 1.1 is all it takes. But on average, that one subscriber leads to more. So those are really the only two ways, but we're going to talk about net dollar retention today, which is one other way to break out of it. So I'm going to show you a couple ways that we do it. But there's some really important numbers to hold in your head here that I think will help with this. So the first number is 70%. 70% is a customer's likelihood of purchasing additional products or services from you once they're subscribed. So obviously, you can see the importance of a customer subscribing. Another number, 62%. 62% is the percentage more a customer is likely to spend once subscribed. So 70% more likely to buy more, and they spend 62% more. 59%, the percentage more likely a customer will choose your brand for additional one-time purchases once subscribed. This is an incredible metric. Like, just when someone is subscribed, if you sell other products, they're 59% more likely to choose you than another brand. So a lot of brands have a subscription product, and then they also have one-time products. So it's not just increasing the value of their subscription, it's increasing the value of the customer as a whole. So they're 59% more likely to choose you for one-time products when subscribed. 90% is the percentage of subscribers that say they wish there was more opportunities for one-time add-ons to their monthly subscriptions. So 90% of your customers want to buy more from you. The problem is there's usually not relevant, timely, and personalized offers, but they want to spend more. So I want to make sure that you get any misconception out of your head that I'm annoying my customers if I send them offers, if I send them email offers, if I show them offers in their customer portal or anything like that. Like, completely erase that. 90% of customers want more, and they actually expect it when they sign up for a subscription. There's this expectation that they think this brand knows me. I'm probably going to get some exclusive offers. I'm probably going to get some discounts other customers don't. I'm probably going to get better recommendations. So if you're not doing it, you're actually doing a disservice because they're expecting it. Two more stats. One is 92%. This is the percentage of subscribers that visit their customer portal at least one time. So think about that for a second. That is not a stat to be taken lightly. 92% visit the customer portal at least once. So what can we do with that information? Well, we know this is an extremely valuable piece of real estate on your website. Unfortunately, most subscription brands just have a very simple subscription management option to like change an address or pause or skip or cancel the subscription, and that's really it. There's so much more you can do there. 92% of subscribers will visit it at least once. And the last little bit of stats here, 15 to 25%. This is the average open rate of marketing emails across the internet. This probably most people will know this, but what most people might not know is this one, 60 to 70%. And this is the average open rate of order emails. Okay. So this is your order confirmation emails when you place an order, or every month when a subscription goes out, you've got an email that goes out, hey, your subscription is about to ship. Those get 60 to 70% open rate. So hold that in your head. Okay. So to the topic today of maximizing subscriptions. This is what we're all about at Bold, and this is why I'm so passionate about it. Is we've actually trademarked this term of maximizing subscriptions, and we've built a suite of maximizers. I'm gonna show you 3 today. So far, we've built 9 total maximizers, and what a maximizer is we look at, there's I don't even know. There's probably 100 subscription tools out there. It seems like there's a new one every week. What we want to be at Bold is the best subscription app for helping you turn more one-time shoppers into subscribers, and more subscribers, and increase the value of existing subscribers more than any other subscription app. So we've done this by using our upselling tools and our subscription tools together to create these experiences where you can convert more subscribers, and then once they're subscribed, grow them more than ever before. So maximizing subscriptions, you maximize them with offers that are 3 things. There's 3 things that are really important. First, they have to be targeted, they have to be personalized, and they have to be well-timed. So you can have a great offer, but if it's a blanket offer to everyone, which I do see a lot of subscription brands do, they'll email all their subscribers with the exact same product, or they'll put the same offer, like a banner offer, in their customer portal, or it's in the wrong place. Like the offer is not maybe in the customer portal at all, it's somewhere else. It's not personalized. It's just a generic offer, and it's not well timed. Like when's the best time to accept an offer? Maybe it's right before their a subscription is going out, or it's just after they place a subscription order. That maybe doesn't make sense, right? So it has to be targeted, personalized, and well timed. And so the 3 best times to maximize subscriptions or subscribers are: first, when they shop. Okay, so when they shop, there's always opportunities to get them to spend more. Second, when they log in and manage, that's when they are updating their subscription. And then third, immediately before shipments. we see this as we've seen this be one of the most effective times to get them to upgrade, or double up even. Coffee subscription, I want to add an extra one this month or something like that. So it's one of the best times, those 3 times. So I'm going to give 3 examples, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to show 3 examples of the way we do it. And again, there's a lot more to this, but here's 3 things to think about today. And if you could implement these 3 things, you would be better probably than 90% of subscription brands out there. So the first one is when they shop. So when you have a subscriber, one of the things you can do is you can give them a much better experience than a one-time customer. So one of the maximizers that we built is called Express Add-ons. And Express Add-ons is basically saying subscribers shouldn't have to, when they buy a one-time product, add it to cart, go to checkout, log in, get out their credit card, whatever, go through the whole purchase process again. So what we built is, if you're a subscriber, on the front end of a subscription site, with one click, you can add any product to your upcoming subscription. If it's a subscription product, you can add it ongoing. So no cart, no checkout, not even a checkout. Like, it's just literally a click. Here's what that looks like. There we go. So when a customer's shopping on the front end of your store, they see a product, I can choose to add this to my subscription or just to the next upcoming one. And you just saw that there. This is one click. Now this is the probiotic powder. Now, if I go look here, I can see I've got the protein and this probiotic powder. So now on the next shipment, this probiotic powder will go out with it. And actually this one will go recurring because I added it to the monthly subscription. I could choose to add it just as a one-time as well too. These convert extremely well. And I know in the beginning of our webinar, we said 35%. It's actually like a lot better. We see some brands getting like 10 to 15% higher conversion using Express Add-ons, and then some of these other ways a lot more. So like the potential is a lot more than 35%. But so this is Express Add-ons. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, but the point here is to make sure that it's easy, it's completely seamless, and it's baked into their subscription. So it's just another way too to actually increase retention, because the customer knows as long as they're subscribed, they can one click add anything to their next subscription. The next one is when they manage orders. So we talked about this. So when they manage orders, remember 92% of the subscribers will manage the order at one point. It's one of the best places to offer products and also give exclusive offers. So like there's a lot you can do here. There's a really interesting data point that when a customer manages their order in any way, whether they update an address or do anything on their order, their lifetime value goes up 400%, 4x. And now it blew my mind when I learned this. And this is not like we see this. I've talked to other subscription vendors. It's pretty consistent. And there's a psychological thing that happens is once you manage an order at least once, you become more comfortable with the company. Like you don't panic when you have 2 of something. And you just, like your coffee doubles up and you go, I got to cancel this order. I've got too many. But because you've modified it once already. So it just kind of removes that immediate panic. So it's really, really important to get people kind of accustomed to logging in and skipping a month and adding a product and pausing it when they go on vacation and resuming it, and just any type of management. It's not like one type is better than the other. So anytime they log in and do something. Now, obviously, adding products is ideal because then that increases the value of that increases your net dollar retention, right? So we have what we call customer portal upsells. Now, we do this through our upsell app, and I don't know if I have a video of it. I'll click through in a second, but in a nutshell, it's pretty easy to put product offers on a customer portal, but what's not easy is to put a different product for every single customer based on what they're subscribed to. And that's where the personalization comes in. And so if you have a customer subscribed to tea, you would want to offer them tea products, one-time tea products. If they're subscribed to coffee, you want to offer them things that coffee drinkers would like. If they're subscribed to coffee, you maybe don't want to offer them the exact same thing they're subscribed to. You might want to offer them different flavors. So our upsell engine has the ability to create personalized, and leverages AI to create. You don't even have to create the offers, but you can create different offers for different customers based off what they're subscribed to. And so John logs into his customer portal, he sees some offers. Sarah logs in, she sees different offers. That's the beauty of using upsell with subscriptions together, is you can create perfectly personalized offers, and those convert much better. So this is what that would look like here. So in the customer portals where you manage everything about the subscription, now you can have as many offers here as you want. This is just an example, but I can add this to my subscription one time, or I can add it ongoing. And again, it's just a click, no checkout, no credit card, nothing. And now you can see here that coffee cream has been added to my coffee subscription. And I added this as a one-time upsell. It's a great way to put exclusive products as well too. So like, you can email your subscribers like every month, check your customer portal, because we've got exclusive offers in there only for members. And then the beauty of it is there's no checkout. So it's completely frictionless. So that's customer portal upsells. And I want to show you one more. Again, there's a lot of these maximizers. I'm highlighting 3. But the other time that's really important to maximize is right before upcoming shipments. And so we do this through email, and it's actually, we can do this one click through email as well too. So you can send emails with Klaviyo or with MailChimp or anything, and it's great, and keep doing that. But when you have a subscriber, you don't have to send them through checkout. You can send them an offer that with a click, it just adds the next upcoming order. And if you do it like 3 days, 2 days before an order, it doesn't feel like it's 25 days out. So, that's where the timing matters. If I get an offer, but my subscription isn't coming out for 20 days, that doesn't have the same impulse effect on me, right? But hey, your subscription order is shipping tomorrow. Last second offer here. Do you want to add this for 25% off or whatever? And with a click, and actually here's what that looks like. So this is the upsell app. I create my offer in there. This is an email. I click with one click. It takes me to a confirmation page similar to the customer portal upsell. I just confirm, and now that's added to my next upcoming order. No checkout as well. So those are 3 really, really simple ways to increase the net dollar retention of subscribers. And like if that's all you take away from today, I promise you'll see an improvement to your bottom line. Those 3 ways we've seen make much more than 35% increase in revenue to subscribers. So those are 3 I wanted to highlight. And actually before, you put it up there. Thanks, Mary. I was going to ask. We're going to do, like I mentioned, I highlighted 3 today, but we're going to do a 45-minute masterclass, really deep diving into the 9 different ways of upselling and what we're seeing some of our best brands do. We have stores seeing well over 80% conversion. It's insane. So we're going to do a masterclass on that. And if that's something you're interested in learning more, just click yes on the pop-up here. And I got to actually click that on mine so I can see. And then we're also going to give you our upsell app free for 6 months. So that has a potential value of $6,000. So depending how much you use it, it's not $1,000 per month, but if on the highest plan, but you'll have access to everything 6 months completely free. So I think that should have just popped up on your screen there. Okay. And last thing I want to say, there was one more slide here before the last questions, but is some offers work and some offers don't. It's really important to remember that a lot of offers are a complete waste of time. And so when you're thinking about how you're sending these email offers, I want you to look at the offer on the left and the offer on the right here. These offers on the left are what like 90% of brands send out. It's a lot of options versus these offers on the right that is one product, one click, and it's different for every single customer. So if you have 10 subscribers, it can be a different product for each customer. So if someone is subscribed to the caramel, they're not going to get the exact same caramel offer, for example. So obviously, which one do you think here converts better? The one on the right, drastically better, because it's personalized. It's one click, no checkout. So the offer makes a big difference as well. And so the last thing I want to leave you with today is if there's anything you take from today, if I asked you again in the future, hey, what's a key metric you track? What's your North Star metric? It should be NDR, net dollar retention. That should be something that you track every month, and it might not be great right now, and that's okay. Maybe it's 90%. Maybe you're slowly losing revenue. People are downgrading or they're removing products from their subscription. That's okay. At least figure out what it is and then work on increasing it. And there's a lot of strategies to increase it. I showed you 3 here today, but there's others as well. Join that masterclass and I can be happy to walk through some more of them. But that's my goal for everyone here today, is to change their North Star metric to net dollar retention. And you will see your subscription revenue grow 35% without adding a single subscriber. If there's any questions, I'm going to check here. I think our team has been chatting in here and answering. Oh, someone asked to put the masterclass back up. Yep. Going to check really quick. Is there a way to track net dollar retention in the dashboard? There isn't, because net dollar retention also includes one-time sales as well too. So the best way to do it is there is a report you can run in Shopify to take everyone who's a subscriber, and you can run their average order value over time in Shopify. But the thing that we don't know as a subscription app is, remember, 59% of subscribers subscribers are 59% more likely to buy one-time products from you versus your competition when they're subscribed. So it's not just increasing their subscription value. That number is in the dashboard, but what's not is the overall value of that customer if they buy one-time products as well too. But those reports are in Shopify. I'm assuming most people here are on Shopify. Okay, it looks like most of the other questions got answered. Yes. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll be sending the recording to everyone. And I think if anyone is interested in learning more about these maximizers, I think everyone here will there'll be the information in the email with the recording of the webinar going out. Feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to set up a call and walk through any of them in more detail or answer any questions you have. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care.